Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi. Can you please post my own story? When is money ever enough? I thought that money, it reaches a point in your life when you can say that the money that I have is now enough. I have a snake in my ceiling. This snake, it has been going bigger and bigger, such that I had to strengthen the wooden beams on the roof of the house which I bought, because this snake, it is getting heavier and heavier by the day. It gives me 5k each and every Friday. Like this coming Friday, I am going to have 5k that is going to drop off from the ceiling, that is vomited. Sometimes it cugs this 5k and I use it for whenever I want, whatever I want to use it for. This snake, it calls out my name, Lindy, Lindy, whenever it is hungry, and then I have to give it the food. I keep all of my menstrual blood and I keep all the sanitary pads that I use. I have to keep it. I sacrificed my baby when I was still staying in Diepkloof for a snake that now lives in my ceiling and it gives me money. My name is Lindy. I was staying in Diepkloof, Zone 6, 28 years old now. I came to Joburg when I was young with one of my aunties. This was after my mom had committed suicide. They used to fight a lot, my mom and my dad. So my mom had some money that she had saved up. She wanted to use that money to come and settle down in Joburg. But then that was when my dad stole her money and then ran off with another woman. It was too much for my mom, I guess. And in that moment of weakness, that was when she chose to take her life. And here I am now. If you see me, if I tell you the abuse that I had to endure growing up until my auntie took me because of how my stepmom used to treat me, you'll say that I am lying. I'm just a pretty girl. I don't have any job where I go to. I run a construction company. I have a white guy that manages that company for me. But the truth is that there is a snake in my ceiling, and this snake, it is a living one, and I have to feed it my blood as well as those things that I use whenever I am on my period. It all started in 2020 when I met a guy who told me that he was looking for someone that could accept money. This guy, I just met him one day when I was in the CBD. I was seated at Wimpy when he approached me and he was like, "Hey, what's your name?" I wanted to be rude, just like my friend was rude to that guy, but I was not rude to him. I did not even like him because the guy, he was looking so scruffy. Later on, that was when I realized that this man, his father had left for him so many properties. And he was like, "I have been going around speaking with different women. Most of them, they have been rude to me. You are the one that has showed that you cared for me. Let's look for somewhere to sit." We then went to another table, and my friend was even laughing at the way that this guy was so scruffy. We sat down and we had our breakfast. He was so nice. He paid for everything. Later on, as we were leaving, he did an e-wallet with 3 bank accounts, which was 9k that I collected. And my friend, she was shocked and she was like, this was supposed to be my man. At that time, I was living with my auntie in a back room, and my auntie was working, but sometimes things will get so bad. So I started dating this guy, and then he just went quiet on me. At that time, I met another guy who then impregnated me, and then that was when this man returned back into my life, and he said, "The money that I gave you, I need it now. Otherwise, you have to give me some of your services if you do not have the money." So this man, he had borrowed me some money, which I don't even know what I used that money for. And I was like, let us just date because I do not have any way I can get the money from. And the guy was like, no, I don't want to date you, but rather if you are willing to accept something that was left for me by my dad, and this is a gift that I cannot keep. So I went with him to one of his properties that had been left behind by his father. When we got there, it was a very beautiful mansion. The lawn was beautiful, everything. It seemed as if there were people that were regularly staying there. He was like, no, I have this other woman from Lesotho who comes and she cleans for me, but at this place there is no one that is staying. A beautiful house, which he said it cost more than 7 point something mil, and he did not want to sell it. His father told him not to sell it. He told me that the reason as to why we were there, he wanted me to be part of his life. He took me to an empty room where there was a little table, and he said that we had to make love in front of that table. When we were making love, that was when I saw that on top of that table there was a snake, and this snake, he said, this is the gift that was left for me by my father. Can you please accept this gift, Brother Nashim? It was really scary for me. Anyway, I accepted. So he said, this is just an acceptance, but we are supposed to go to Hamampalele in Limpopo, where we went, me and this guy. We arrived there and we met another man who is a healer. So this healer then dedicated this snake to me, and it became mine. After that, when I was about to give birth, I was given some snuff, and I was told that when I was in the maternity ward, I had to make sure that I just lick that snuff. I hid the snuff so that the nurses will not see that I had the powdered tobacco. This was going to give my son an infection, and later on he was going to die. So after I had given birth and I returned back to my auntie's place, then he started to get so sick. He got sick in the middle of the night. I ran away, and I did not return back to Johannesburg for nearly 3 years when I was staying in another province, simply because I went and I dumped my baby in the river. Later on, I told my auntie that when I had gone to the province where I was staying with my boyfriend, my son had passed away. With the money that I make, there is no one in the family that can dare ask me any questions. So the snake has been eating my period blood. Sometimes it can wake me up and tell me that it is hungry, and if there is no more blood, it can even make me to go on my period. Each and every Friday at exactly 2 a.m. that is when I can see the money falling from the ceiling. It can fall in any place where there is no opening into the ceiling. You'll just see the money falling. It is always 5k in 200 knots, as if they are just coming out of the ATM machine. I am living a good life, but I don't know when to stop, when it is going to stop. I have been forbidden to get married. I can just go out, enjoy, sleep with a guy at the club, in his car, in the street, but I'm not allowed to sleep with a man in bed again, or in a hotel, or at my place, wherever. We can only do it in public, making love in public. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin who helped us with this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.